So be full of grace, your conversation full of grace, season it with salt, and then lastly, let it be person specific. Look at what he says in verse 6, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. And it's literally responding to people based on who they are. Not all answers are created equal. Some people have objections to Christianity that are totally different than another person's objection. So I'm wired as a kind of a skeptical, philosophical, logical kind of guy. I love Christian apologetics where we, let's talk about the historical evidence for the resurrection, or let's talk about cosmological proofs for the existence of God. I'm kind of like Max. Taylor made fun of Max, but he got a friend in me. So we're kind of wired that way. And not everybody's wired that way, right? Some people, their objection to Christianity is, how can God love me when I've done what I've done? They're struggling with self-image. And if I went to them with Thomas Aquinas' 5 proofs for the existence of God, they'd be like, well, I'm too dumb to be a Christian. They'd say something like that. I just want to know, can God love me? And so answer them based on them, on who they are, what they're struggling with. Not all answers are created equal, which means you've got to do some work. You've got to work to understand them, to see what their issues are, to not see them as a project. So much evangelism these days is kind of sweep in, throw a track out there, go through the 4 spiritual laws, and do you understand what you're hearing? Do you want to pray to be saved? And then walking through a prayer. That kind of evangelism may not be the most persuasive. But persuasive evangelism is when you know who you're talking to, what their issues are, and how to respond to them in such a way so that their objections are answered, their barriers are broken down, and they are able to hear the gospel with a set of ears that takes it for what it really is. That they don't dismiss it outright because of the barriers, but you work to bring the barriers down so that they can take the gospel on its own terms. That's persuasive.